Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. The first news of the day, today is 18th of March. The first news is India's firm buy more oil from Russia. Second, government propose PhD after the bachelor degree. This is aligned with the new education policy. Third, India set global standard in the vaccinations. The milestone that India has achieved in the vaccination has been discussed. The second last, India extend 1 billion credit to Sri Lanka. And the last is an editorial land resource management measures that will impact the larger economy. A brilliant editorial. We'll see the detail about this, which is again relevant for your examination. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And before we start the session, Apti wishes you a very happy Holi. We wish all the aspirants who are preparing for civil services might achieve success at the earliest. Now, starting with the first news of the day, that is Indian firms buy oil from Russia. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India's and affecting India's interest. So amid the ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine and the sanctions that has been imposed to Russia by the Western countries, India is expected to deepen the energy cooperation with Russia, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे Western countries ने रशिया को sanctions किया है, but India continues to deepen that energy cooperations, right? And even it continued to source Russia's energy despite US tough sanctions. Now, इंडिया की जो कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट कंपनीज हैं, इंडियन ऑयल कॉर्पोरेशन, हिंदुस्तान पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड, they have bought almost 2 million barrel of Russian crude oil, and as energy is a major forge ahead with attempts to secure Russia energy supply. So this is you can say the achievement that India is witnessing in terms of building a relationship with Russia to promote energy security for our country. Now, energy security is something which is very relevant at this point of time. India's latest policy decision is उसमें ये plan किया गया है that to ensure energy security and oil and gas market continue to witness a volatile in the market. We have seen that after the crisis that has arisen amid the war which is going between Russia and Ukraine, उसके बाद जो price हुई थी barrel की, even crude oil के prices जो हैं $130 barrel के ऊपर चली गई हैं, right? So to ensure energy security, Government of India is engaging with a subsidized price of crude oil to import. Now, energy cooperations with Russia will require some necessary adjustment, जहाँ पे financial fund because of the challenges that would be posed by the US sanctions. Now, pragmatic approach की भी बात की गई. The senior official of India has indicated that the government has adopted a pragmatic approach, जहाँ पे matters जो है that is likely to forge ahead, and even जो IOC और HPCL, they have bought Russia's rural crude oil via European energy traders. Now, another similar energy consignment that is expected to reach Mangalore Refinery Petroleum has floated a tender seeking 1 million barrel of the same kind of crude oil which India has recently ported. Now, what is the reason for the discounted rate that India is getting at this point of time from Russia? So, जो latest sanctions हुई है Western countries के द्वारा, they have forced many countries to avoid Russia gas and oil, right? So the reason being, जब demand कम हुई है किसी चीज की, तो अब रशिया चाहता है कि उसकी सेल बढ़े, इसलिए उन्हें प्राइस को डिक्रीज किया हुआ है. So this has created an opportunity for some other major energy importers like India, who can source Russian crude oil at a special discounted rate. And to capture this opportunity, India's refinery are floating tenders to buy such discounted oils. Now, which are the countries from which India mostly import the oil? So if you look into the 5 important nations from which India import, the first would be Iraq, followed by UAE, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and the United States of America, right? And some of the datas that how much amount was actually imported, you can see these datas are mentioned here. You can take the screenshot of this particular slide as well. Now, government proposes PhD after a bachelor degree. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, issues related to development and management of education and human resources. So, the University Grant Commission has recently prepared a draft framework where it has called for the implementations of higher education structure जहाँ पे डायरेक्टली ग्रेजुएशन के बाद बच्चे पीएचडी में एडमिशन्स ले पाएंगे जो कि एनविसाज थी एक्चुअल में नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 में राइट सो एज पर द यूजीसी अगर गाइडलाइन के मुताबिक देखें वैसे अंडर ग्रेजुएट के बच्चे जो 4 ईयर तक अपनी कोर्सेज को पूरी करते हैं there are two type of courses. One is 3 year and most universities offering in the 4 year courses. So those students who have undergone for a graduate degree with 4 year courses and their CGPA is minimum of 7.5%, they are eligible to take direct admission into the PhD program without undergoing a master degree. This is a very important step taken by the government of India और ये टाइम सेव करेगी बच्चों की जहाँ पे रिपीटेशंस भी होती थी और कई बार 2 year की वेस्टेज होती थी अगेन 4 year degree would allow a student to directly enroll them for a PhD degree, right? Something very important steps. So according to the latest draft by the University Grant Commission, the new measure is a part of a draft University Grant Commission that is minimum standard and procedures for award of the PhD degree regulation 2022 which was recently released by the UGC. और कुछ सेवरल प्रोमिनेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं इंडिया में जो सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं दैट इंक्लूड द यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली दे आर प्लानिंग टू इम्प्लीमेंट अ 4 year प्रोग्राम फॉर कमिंग एकेडमिक सेशन दैट इज फॉर 2022 and 2023. So after this 4 year undergraduate degree, a student can directly enroll them for the PhDs. Now multiple entry or exit options भी रखी गई है for the new education policy as it was envisaged. उसमें कुछ important points थे entry और exits को लेकर के. So the new education policy है envisaged 4 year degree with multiple entry and exit options. वैसे बच्चे अगर जिनको सर्टिफिकेट्स की डिग्री चाहिए वो 1 साल अपने कोर्स को कंप्लीट करके सर्टिफिकेट डिग्री ले सकते हैं विद द क्रेडिट ऑफ 40 to 44. Those students who are pursuing 2 years of the degree, they can opt for diploma, right? And those who are completing 3 year of the degree, they will get the bachelor degree, right? और जो 4 year पूरा complete करेंगे उसको ऑनरी डिग्री मिलेगी उस पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट में with a rigorous research project. Multidisciplinary programs होंगी which have a total credit of 160 to 176, right? And master degree could be earned in 1 year or 2 year program depending upon whether student wanted to complete 3 year or 4 year of a degree, right? Now, varied curriculum की बात की गई. The curriculum for the first 3 semester of the undergraduate courses will include the common courses such as language, which include both English and regional languages, understanding India and its diversity, जो environmental science है, sustainability की तरफ किस तरह से आगे बढ़ा जा सकता है, उसके लिए environmental science, digital and technological solutions, mathematical and computation thinking and analytics, and health and wellness, yoga, sports and fitness. And the last is introductory courses in humanity, nature, natural and social sciences. Now, India extended 1 billion line of credit, or you can say billion credit, to Sri Lanka. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, India and its neighborhood relations. So recently, India has extended a 1 billion credit facility to Sri Lanka to assist the island nations through the worst foreign crisis that is ongoing in Sri Lanka. और ये enable करेगी श्रीलंका को to procure some medicine and essential item which at this point of time they are unable to do so. Now the agreement would be effective from that is effective between India and Sri Lanka would take place from State Bank of India and the government of Sri Lanka, which include basically this was decided when Sri Lanka finance minister was visiting India. He has visited India and government of India has finally decided to extend 1 billion line of credit, or you can say the credit facilities. Now neighborhood first policy के through India ने ये सारी चीजें की हैं. India is always vocal about the neighborhood first policy. And India has reiterated its commitment of neighborhood first policy which continue to stand with Sri Lanka. In 2022, so far India has extended 1.4 billion support to Sri Lanka. उसके अलावे 400 million की RBI ने currency swap भी दी है. And the other like 0.5 billion loan, another half of the billion as a line of credit to the country to sustain essential fuel import. You know that Sri Lanka is ongoing with a huge debt and they have taken a lot more amount from China and the repayment is creating a lot more problem for them. Now, financial crisis in Sri Lanka की अगर बात करें, Sri Lanka is facing the worst financial crisis that has declared an emergency last year, and they are facing a crippling foreign exchange crunch, right? This might impact the overall performance of the GDP, and the nation is still facing a significant fuel and gas shortages, जहाँ पे high inflations देखी गई है, जो essential goods के prices हैं वो भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़े हैं, and all the foods item of the daily needs has also seen a toll. So this invariably would be impacting a normal citizen, जहाँ पे जो purchasing power parity है वो काफ़ी कम हो सकती है. Now, Sri Lanka is due to repay the foreign debt. Specifically, I'm talking about the China because they've taken a huge amount from China. And 7 billion this year is persisting shortage of the dollars with regards to the food import, medicines, and other essential items. Now, India set global standard in vaccination. This is what the statement coming from the Minister of Health. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, issues related to development and management of health. So the Union Health Minister has recently said he was addressing a webinar, and he made some key note where he was basically focusing upon India's public health response to manage the COVID-19, and he has praised the government efforts in managing the COVID-19 pandemic. Although we have seen the lackness of the government, the ineffectiveness of government in providing oxygen and basic amenities, but then also in overall context, the performance was good. So recent Omicron जो surges हुई उसके बारे में बात की गई थी. The management of COVID-19, especially in the recent Omicron surge, has strongly demonstrated the world power with a strong will. जहाँ पे self reliance की बात की गई है. Government of India has already advocated for the Atmanirbhar Bharat and building up a India where manufacturing for the pharmaceutical should also be a reality. Now, the country's strategy to have a public health response resulted in a better management of Omicron that was compared to the many other countries as well. If you look into the other figures of the developed countries, it is invariably something that is evident the fact that India has actually performed well compared to many other developed countries in terms of vaccinations and in terms of reducing the number of deaths. The innovations was powered by the technology, shared goals, collaborative efforts to the whole of the government and whole of the society approach. This is what the minister has to state in his statement which he was addressing through a webinar. So whole of the government, whole of the citizen, एक important approach थी जिसने actual में काम किया. Now progress so far that was made. So at the time, many countries were reported increase in the number of the COVID-19 cases. India daily cases has reported substantial decrease, whether combined with the increase of the recovery rate and high level of vaccinations. Although the vaccinations compared to many other developing countries, India is among the top countries to have a number of vaccinations done. Now the timely measures include test, track, treat approach, which focuses on genome sequencing, containment through containment zones, community surveillance protocol that have isolations and ineffective clinical, basically जितने भी effective clinical treatments थे वो भी किए गए. This all sorts of efforts has substantially contributed in the COVID-19 management. Now, if you look into the data, this is the dashboard from the government website, that is the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. You can easily figure it out that the total number of vaccination has taken a toll of 180 crore people, right? And the average active case in India is around 29,181, and these are number of the discharge and the death, right? So these are the government official figure, although we can anticipate this number to reduce, and even the vaccination process has to take a pace. Now the other part is an editorial. Land resource management measures will impact the larger economy. A brilliant editorial written by Ajay Turki, where he focuses upon the digitalization of land resource management. So this particular editorial is important for General Studies Paper 2, Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors and Issues Arising from its Design and Implementations. So what I'm going to discuss under this editorial, there would be three important subheads. The first would be digitalizations of land record. Second, land governance and initiatives and the way forward. So the entire editorial focuses upon the roadmap for the digitalization of land records. So the latest budget speech for 2022 has talked for land resource management. जहाँ पे reform की अगर बात करें, any reform or initiative that strengthen the land governance is definitely impacting the economy in a positive sense, and it has a ripple effect across the sector. This is what the editor has to highlight in his editorial. Now डिजिटलाइजेशन ऑफ लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स की अगर बात करें, जो कंप्यूटराइजेशन है, डिजिटलाइजेशन हुई है लैंड रिकॉर्ड की, दैट इन द रीसेंट हैज इनेबल्ड द ई प्रोक्योरमेंट ऑफ द wheat and the paddy. So it has this is digitalization is something which is an umbrella phenomenon which is impacting to a lot more verticals, right? So the states through the minimum support price is also helping in terms of e-procurement of wheat and paddies. So most states now use computerized land record for e-procurement, and the ease of living of the farming community thus has become a positive impact. Similarly, कुछ और गवर्नमेंट के schemes है like प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि योजना, that the states are being done on the basis of computerized land record. So if it is being asked in mains examination, what are the benefits, merits and advantages of digitalization of land records? These are the points that you can mention over the paper. नाउ लैंड गवर्नेंस इनिशिएटिव्स की अगर बात करें तो बजट स्पीच में कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बातों को हाईलाइट की गई थी लैंड गवर्नेंस को लेकर के. टेक्नोलॉजी कट अक्रॉस ज्योग्राफिकल रीजन स्टेट पॉलिसी, जहाँ पे जो बैरियर्स है उसको कम की जा सकती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मेकिंग अ डेटा विच इज नेशनली अवेलेबल एंड इंपॉर्टेंस फॉर द इकोनॉमी. सो कुछ 3 इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स बताए गए हैं जहाँ पे सिटीजन और नेशंस दोनों को हेल्प होगी. तो व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट नीड टू बी डन? द फर्स्ट इज unique land parcel identification number. Second is national generic document register system, and the last is transliterating the land record. So we'll understand all 3 of this one by one. So the first is unique land parcel identification number. एक ऐसी identification number होगी जिस तरह से आधार की unique number होती है. The same applies to the land parcel. So एक land parcel के लिए unique number allocate की जाएगी एक specific plot के लिए, ताकि उसमें किसी तरह की discrepancy arise ना हो. And each land parcel or the pilot is assigned with the unique identifications number. Therefore, like Aadhaar, the agencies and the services can be used with the database. और किसी भी कंट्री के कोई भी कोने पे जो ऑथेंटिफिकेशन प्रोसेस है वो कंप्लीट कर ली जाएगी. एंड द पर्पस ऑफ डिलीवरी ऑफ सर्विसेज कैन ऑल्सो बी इजीली एग्जीक्यूटेड. Now, National Generic Document Registration System. This is something very important which calls for one nation, one registration software. एक बहुत ही important initiative है Government of India की, where the urban property registration can take place. So this is a software applications platform which facilitate the online registration of immovable properties document as compared to the manual registration process used earlier, right? Now, the entire process right apply from applying the registration to paying the stamp duty and furnishing income certificates online. The state union territories can conveniently make use of this software and take advantages for making the data and also providing the beneficiaries with the exact finding the beneficiaries, right? तो beneficiaries का identification registration में भी किसी तरह की problem नहीं होगी. Now, transliterating the land record, this is one of the major problem that was being faced before the digitalization part. तो कई ऐसे कंट्री स्टेट में जो हमारे शेड्यूल 8 में जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेंशन है लैंग्वेज, उसमें उसके जितने लैंग्वेजेस होंगे उस पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेजेस में अब लैंड रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन की जाएगी. तो प्रेजेंटली द लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स आर लार्जली इन द रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस, सो दैट वाज अ बैरियर क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम इन हर्डल्स. नाउ लिंग्विस्टिक जो बैरियर है वो पूरी तरह से खत्म की जाएगी टू इंश्योर अ नेशनल इकोनॉमी इज बीइंग क्रिएटेड. तो आप एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे ये समझ सकते हैं, अगर किसी इंडिविजुअल ने महाराष्ट्र में लैंड परचेज किया है, उसकी सारी लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स अगर मराठी में है, एंड अ पर्सन ही इज बिलोंगिंग टू तमिलनाडु, he can get his own Tamilian language done, right? So this is how the transliterating of a land record can be easily done via the digitalizations of land record that is taking place by the government visions and programs and policies. Now, looking into the way forward of this particular editorial, the budget speech has underscored the significant role in the resource management of the government, which is expected to play a resurgence in the economy, and it will definitely have a ripple effect, a positive effect in overall prospects. Now, it has strengthened the belief that the use of technology, जहाँ पे एक pragmatic और strategically approach के through अगर इसकी applicability की जाए, तो states के साथ साथ center and even the citizen is going to be benefited with the implementation of the scheme and finding the beneficiaries. Now, the land resource management government will provide a right of a balanced approach where national economy, despite one of the worst economic downturn, which was done during the pandemic can also be reversed. और खास करके जो यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशंस नंबर मिलेंगे लैंड पार्सल्स के लिए, दैट वुड क्रिएट अ लॉट मोर क्लैरिटी एंड इट वुड रिड्यूस द जो खास करके मिडिल मैन है या फिर जो करप्शंस में पार्ट हो रही है वो पूरी तरह से खत्म की जा सकती है. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you about our courses, that is UPSC CSE Prelims test series, a 60 high quality test along with the 12-month IS gazetted subscription, which you can find in the description section. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दिए हुए हैं, आप ज़्यादा जानकारी वहाँ से ले सकते हैं. You can check out the courses. Now, just let you know about the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is B. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ, पीएम आत्मनिर्भर स्वस्थ भारत स्कीम के बारे में आपको स्टेटमेंट कंसिडर करनी है. इट एम्स टू प्रोवाइड हेल्थ केयर इंश्योरेंस टू पीपल ऑफ द बीपीएल कैटेगरीज एंड इट वाज रिसेंटली अनाउंस्ड इन द यूनियन बजट 2021 and 2022. So you have to look into the important point that would be again relevant for the examination. Second is National Hydrogen Energy Mission. The mission will capitalize hydrogen for a cleaner alternative fuel option, and it will focus on generation of hydrogen as a green power resources. So you have to consider the important statement. If you don't know, do check it out with the government website. We have our blogs also. You can check the details from there as well. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.